Hi, everyone. I thought I'd come on just a couple of minutes before just to do a couple of sound checks and see if anyone can confirm the sound. Anyone can confirm the sound, that they can still see me. Okay. Just doing a couple of checks with the screens. The video still going? Is the video still going? Hi, Judy. I can see you. Can you just Judy, could you just double check if the sound is okay? Can you hear me? Hi. Is the sound okay? All right. I'm changing screens. Can you see? Can you see? All right. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Today I can see comments. Today my microphone works. Yesterday it felt like everything was not working that needed to work, and yet it felt quite like a successful live stream. Anyway, we'll just wait for a couple of more minutes to see if anyone else wants to come on live. Really excited about today's topic. Anything to do with emotions, anything to do with emotions, anything to do with emotions just lightens me up, because emotions has always been that which has helped me expand. So we'll be discussing emotions today and how important breathing, deep breathing, consciously breathing is. So I'm just going to give them another few moments. Those who are online already with me, I would suggest taking a couple of deep breaths along with me. When you inhale, remember the belly to go out. Comfortable position. Hold for 4. And out. And while you're exhaling, the exhaling is really slow. And when you get to the pinnacle of letting all the air out, that final squeeze of the abdomen, interesting enough, what I didn't know from reading this book is that if you leave stale air in your lungs, at the bottom of your lungs, and they're never really exhaled, pushed out, bacteria can arise within that stale air. It's like a bit like stale water, and it starts to. So that really hit me. Like I had no idea. So a few people were asking me yesterday what book I was referring to. Well, the book that did change my whole outlook on how important breathing is one particular book I was reading at a friend's house, Vanessa. It's a very, very thin book. It's called Jumpstart Your Metabolism by Pam Grout. I think, is that how you pronounce her name? Grout, Grout. I will put it in the notes of today so you can have a look. It was literally a book that opened my eyes. It finally hit me that we are not flawed, we are not broken in any way. We are simply misinformed. And that's exactly the words that came to me the moment I was reading that book. We are simply misinformed. Our bodies function perfectly, but can you imagine, at the age of 45, I have denied myself the oxygen, the energy, the fuel of really having a dynamic, energetic body to move around in this reality. And I've denied myself that. And not only did I deny it, I was unaware of what the oxygen inhaling and exhaling, how important it is. And there's one part in the book, Pam Grout is really a fabulous funny writer. She really captivates your attention while you're reading the book. I really recommend it. Jumpstart Your Metabolism. I will put the link in. She captivates your attention, and really, I laughed. I kept laughing because she's just so funny. And one part of the book, she actually writes there, it is time now to take breathing and move it from the bottom of the list where clipping your toenails is, to moving it right up there with, eating and sleeping. That's how important it is. You need your sleep, and you need to eat your food. Even though that's not entirely true, but we'll leave it for another day. However, she does make you laugh. I know for those people that enjoy reading, I think I read it in about 2 or 3 days, and I really enjoyed it. And I've read it again because there were a few things that I just wanted to go over. Remembering specific things about how the body works, and words and names and things like that. And then at the end of the book, it's divided in 2 parts. It's part 1, where she really, really gives you a whole full-on description of how your organs and what functions and activities your body's doing, the oxygen, bringing the brain, bringing oxygen to the brain through your bloodstream, and the 700 billion old cells, and how the wastes are. She just gets into so much detail, and it's fun. She's really, really funny. So you can really imagine what's really happening inside of you. So the second part of the book, she describes different ways of breathing. There's lovely exercises. I've done a few. My basic breathing exercise that I always go to every single time when I can is the 4. Inhale, count of 4, hold for 4, and then exhale. I've got to about 8, a count of 8 while I'm exhaling, and then hold for 4 before I take in my next breath. So I'm quite loyal. I've found my rhythm. I found my flow. It is something that is now at my top priority every single day. Something I never do without. I wake up in the morning every day and I breathe. Then I have breakfast, and then I have a shower. It's just those things that you cannot do without. I will not go through another day without breathing, giving my body the oxygen. And today, I'd like to talk to you about another important function breathing, deep breathing has for the body. Not only does it eliminate wastes, 70% of our waste, it not only does it oxygenates our body and creates endorphins. And it's funny to think about that. The other thing that, that processes endorphins is eating. And I think we get muddled up because of our emotional state, which we'll talk about today, that a lot of people feel a lot better once they've eaten because they have a release of endorphins, but they can get the same exactly feeling of feeling much happier and feeling more enthusiastic by simply breathing. There is no need to go to that sort of binge eating or eating for comfort and protection and things like that. So today, the topic that I'd really like to talk about are your emotions. It feels like emotions is on that same level of breathing. You talk to someone about breathing, oh, I know how to breathe. And you talk to someone about emotions, yeah, I have those emotions, but let's just bring it up in the forefront. Let's make it the topic that's always on your mind. Okay, breathing and emotions go hand in hand. Emotions, what are they? Now let's look at them really one-on-one. Emotions is energy in motion. It's energy in motion. How you present yourself to an experience, and whatever you're experiencing in that moment, filtering through your thoughts and beliefs, okay, will be the consequence on how you're feeling. So if you have an experience and all of a sudden you believe that this shouldn't be happening, or you're about to experience a loss, or you're about to experience losing something, or you're about to experience someone yelling at you, or you're about to experience, so now there's this emotion that comes up, it either can be stressful, it can be fearful, it can be about despair, it can be about lack of worth, it can be about lack of love, it could be, it's some form of lack, okay? So you feel these emotions and an experience has happened. You now have the consequence of an emotion. Because you have a sort of list, a long list of thoughts and beliefs on how things should be. From the time you were born till now, you have collected quite a perspective of how life should present itself. So let's just take a step back. You are constantly feeling emotions. You cannot deny yourself that. You are constantly feeling emotions. The emotions get stuck in your body every single day. And what oxygen does, okay, fine, you've had that experience, not a problem. You felt emotions, not a problem. Have you? Have you felt them? Or are you trying to protect yourself from feeling them? No emotion has ever killed anyone. Feeling an emotion, actually feeling, breathing into the emotion, is the most healthier thing you've ever done. You've experienced the wide range of infinite versions of frequency, energy, emotions. Okay? An emotion will not kill you. What will hurt you in the long run is trying to protect yourself from trying to feel them, running away from them, which means you're trying to push them down and down and down and down. And what breathing does, it will bring them up. It will bring them up because you're bound to release them through your exhale. Releasing emotions, they normally get stored in your gut and in your muscles. Starting to resonate. Those aches and pains, it's stored energy that needs to be released from your body. And that's why you're constantly getting triggered by the same situations. Triggers are same things happen and you react the same way. You get upset about the same things. Why? Because your body is trying to signal you, we need to release this. We need to release this. So, can you imagine all those emotions from your childhood that we haven't released because we didn't know how to breathe? The yogis may have mentioned it a few times, but we didn't believe. But today we have technology, we have scientific proof of what the oxygen and the energy is doing in our body. And the emotions are one of them that come, are experienced, are felt, and then expelled. Another experience presents itself, it appears, you have an emotional response to it, you have an experience, you learn, and then it gets expelled. And then you have another experience, you feel, you come to conclusions, then you come to new desires and expelled. They are there for your expansion. They are there for creation. So emotions are not meant to be stored in the body for good. They need to be expelled. And that's why triggers are such an invaluable gift, is that the body is asking you, we need to release this. We need to release this. Just like the fat cells, if you're not giving it oxygen, it's going to find somewhere to store it. If you're not breathing, it's going to find somewhere to store that energy, those emotions, and they're just going to be stored. If you start breathing, and the amazing thing is that the more you breathe, the more these emotions come up. And my first reaction was, I'm not supposed to be feeling this. I'm feeling very uncomfortable. But if you just allow yourself to bring it up and still focus on your breathing, it could happen that you'll have the urge to cry. That's just one of the emotions. Give yourself a round of applause, because if you do have the urge to cry, that means you are now releasing an emotion. It was stored energy. You're doing well. If you have an urge, you say, I'm feeling sad. If all of a sudden I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling angry, I have no idea. Don't try and reason with the mind. Just connect with the body. We've been locked up and focusing on the mind for so long, we've completely forgotten how to connect with our body. Our bodies speak to us in forms of energy, in forms of feeling. The body communicates with you through feeling, the mind through thought. Okay, so let's start feeling more. and let's start thinking less. Because the thinking, being trapped in thought, you forget to breathe. And by forgetting to breathe, you're storing up and you're not functioning. Now you're nice and prompt just to have, just sufficient amount of energy just to do what you need to do, to get in a car, to go someplace and come back home and cook something and go back to bed. You don't want a life like that. You're going to start feeling heavy and you're going to start getting ill. It is imperative that the oxygen intake is sufficient for you to feel vibrant. It is sufficient for you to actually start feeling those endorphins, excited, joyful. Because if you don't, this is how the chain of pain has just multiplied and multiplied and multiplied like a really bad disease. So we don't know how to breathe. So we're accumulating these emotions. Now we get triggered with anything that happens. Have you noticed that one scenario happens, there's about 3-4 people around and everyone is reacting differently to that one scenario? Why? Because they're all being triggered because they have all different kind of emotions stored inside their body. So they're getting triggered by different things. Okay? So now you're triggered and now basically you react. Now you're allowing other people to see your anger. You're allowing other people to see your frustration and your despair. And now that despair and that frustration and that anger has now triggered someone else. And the chain of pain keeps going because no one is looking at healing themselves. Not healing themselves, just allowing the body to do what it was meant to do. The body knew from the very first day, this is my job. This is my job. I am here. This is what I'm going to do. Oxygen will come here and it will be provided every day. It is consistent. It's available anywhere I want. It's for free. I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need to pay anyone. Oxygen is always here. So the body knew I will have sufficient fuel to do this, 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 and this, and this, and that. It knew it. It knew that you'd be encountering experiences. It knew that energy would be blocked and emotions would get trapped. And it knew with the oxygen that it would be released. But are you cooperating? You are the only missing link. Are you cooperating? Or are you so in your mind thinking about all these different thoughts that we've forgotten? That is the only thing that takes you away. If you realize the only thing that takes you away from consciously breathing, you'll notice in this first week that you actually have to pencil in time. I need to remember to breathe because it doesn't come naturally to you. What comes naturally to you is the futile breathing. So that comes naturally to you. But we don't want futile breathing because futile breathing is shallow breathing. And when you're shallow breathing, you're not getting, apparently, because I'm learning these things as well. We have 5 lobes in our lungs. And when you're shallow breathing, you hardly even fill up to the second lobe. So you're not getting all that oxygen. I think it's about 8 liters your lungs can take 8 liters at a time, up to 30, 40 liters if you're running. So we're just kind of pints, just like a couple of milliliters. We're not providing the amount of oxygen for the body to actually just release everything that hits it. So if you're eating your food, your liquids, it processes it. You're having an experience, someone cut you off, you had a moment of anger, it knows how to release it. You felt it. You allowed yourself to feel it, and it was then released. It comes and goes, comes and goes. There's constant change. Every time we store in emotions, now we're trying to control the outcome and the circumstances out there. So you're predicting, I do not want to feel that emotion ever again. And normally it's emotions such as unworthiness. I remember when I was 8 years old, that scenario made me feel very, very unworthy. I never want to feel it again. So now I'm going to try and control every single person I meet in order not to feel that. And the triggers that you'll probably feel are things like, let me see if I can have some examples. Like, let's say you don't feel worthy. Let's say you bump into someone that doesn't feel worthy, and you say to them, "You did such a great job." That compliment will actually be a trigger for those people, because not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough, and then being complimented, "You did such a great job," it will be a trigger. "I don't believe you. Oh, please don't say that. No, that's enough." It will not be received because you have a trapped emotion stuck in you. So emotions, and this is what, when I do my one-on-one sessions, it's always about an emotion. It's always, that's the limitation. It's trapped. If you allow deep breathing to do what it needs to do, is release waste, okay, releasing carbon dioxide, releasing that excessive fat, releasing all these, allow it to do also the same for emotions. But when an emotion comes up, you say, "What am I supposed to do with it?" Feel it. Feel it no matter what. Don't try and reason with it with the mind. Don't go there. Just let it be an intimate relationship between you and the body. The mind has nothing to do with it. You are aware of the mind. Don't let the thoughts tell you, "Oh, we need to find out. Why am I feeling like, is it his fault? Is it her fault?" Just allow yourself to acknowledge you have, put up your hand. I have trapped emotions inside my body. It is stored inside my muscles or in my gut. Somewhere it is stored because I have not been breathing correctly, properly for a very, very long time. Hooray! It does. It needs to feel like relief. Everything is trapped inside this body, and oxygen will release it. Is it that plain and simple? Yes, it is. When you make deep breathing a priority, your body chemically changes in every now moment. In every now moment, as actually oxygen goes in, oxygen comes out. It is chemically a different body. You do not have the same cells you had before. You are not the same body as before. There is no way that if you constantly and consistently make it a priority until it's a practice, until it's no longer a practice, very much like meditation. It felt like a practice that I need to keep on practicing, but it is not. I'd like you, until tomorrow, actually, for as long as you can, while you're breathing, doing your 10 breaths in the morning, doing your 10 breaths during the day, and doing the 10 breaths before you go to sleep, just notice what emotions come up. And if they do come up, just acknowledge, "I'm releasing." And if you feel like crying and you think your partner will think you're weird, just explain, share. I'd like you to all share this information with as many people. If you're a teacher, teach it to children, teach it to students, teach it to your friends. Just start sharing this information. It is as simple as it sounds, but it is profoundly and fundamentally important for your state of mind, for the health of your body, for the health of your spirit, your emotions. There are energy trapped. You need to start acknowledging that the oxygen, it was designed as its job. It's part of its job description to let it go. But you need to be that cooperative component that allows it to be felt. The body feels emotions. The mind thinks the thoughts. Tomorrow we'll get into who is the one that is aware of them, which I really like to discuss in order to just bring it. But by focusing on your breath, even if you don't want to get into, subjects as meditation or yoga and things like that, just you have a regular life, and I respect that. Not everyone is on the same spiritual journey or has questions and that wants to know. You have a regular life, but you're battling You're battling with your body, maybe. You're battling with emotional discomfort. You're battling with pain. You're battling with physical discomfort. This will you need to give yourself credit that you will see that thoughts will come up that say, is it true? Can it really be that easy? Is it? Do your research. Don't believe me. This has inspired me because it felt so easy. So generally speaking, everyone breathes, but how are they breathing? And what does the oxygen and the energy do to the body? It changes you completely. And this is not literally a theoretical expression. It changes you completely. It practically changes you completely because it rids you of the old cells. It rids everything of before, and now you are new. Your body is constantly producing new cells. It changes you chemically completely. We'll get into more of this every single day as we're exploring. I've been watching a lot of videos by Dr. Joe Dispenza, Deepak Chopra, Bruce Lipton, The Biology of Belief. I love their books. If you'd like, I can recommend, if you enjoy reading, I can recommend quite a few books on exactly how the body functions. But if you grab the element of oxygen, just that one element of oxygen, you can see how the whole web basically interconnects, all by you making a decision every single day. I'm now going to become aware of how I'm breathing, the quality of your breath, the quantity of the oxygen, and seeing how it expels, how it reacts with your emotions. But you need to be the one allowing it. You need to be the one. And if sadness comes up, feel the sadness. If crying comes up, cry. Okay? Just make everyone aware is that I am now going to feel more connected to my body because now I am allowing more oxygen to come up and things are going to come out. And emotions are one of them that you can become aware of. So just become aware of your emotions. And tomorrow we'll talk about your thoughts, that how they connect with your emotions. So today I wanted to highlight, I'm already going a bit over time, but really wanted to highlight that your emotions, what you're feeling, is not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing to feel anger. It is not a bad thing. It is not a negative thing to feel your lack emotions, your fearful emotions, your anxiety. Just while you're breathing, allow yourself to feel them. Feel the anger. Now, feeling anger doesn't mean to go out and hit someone over the head because you're feeling anger. I'm not saying to act on it. What I'm saying is allow yourself to feel the anger. If need be, when anger comes up, in the past, when anger really overwhelmed me, I needed to write. And I wrote some really, really angry letters. It's an expression. Just find yourself in some way to feel what you're feeling and allow yourself to be that avenue of release. The body is the release, and it's only going to come out from here. It needs to come out through you. The heart needs to feel every variation of the rainbow, all colors, and all your emotions. All of your emotions are loved. They are a version of love through the screen and the veil of your beliefs about it, about the situation. So anger is an expression of love through the veil of your beliefs. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, I promise you. But just allow this fan, have an image in your mind, this fan of all the emotions you've felt, from despair, disempowerment, anger, revenge, doubt, blame, pessimism, and then slowly into hopefulness and optimism, happy, blissful. They're all ranges of different frequencies of energy expressing through the body, which we call emotions. Allow emotions to be just like those fat cells. If the oxygen comes, allow them to be released. The only way they can be released is through your cooperation, allowing. Allow yourself to the releasing mechanism is through the heart, because that's how you feel. The heart is the organ that allows you to feel it. An emotion cannot be released without you, the heart, feeling it. It's a process. It means nothing about you. I'll repeat that. It's a process. It means nothing about you. Anger is being felt. You're not the angry person. Fear is being felt. You're not a fearful person. Despair is being felt. You're not a person in despair. Allow emotions to be what they are. Their energy in motion. They need to move through you. You are the avenue. Please be good to yourselves and keep on practicing breathing. If you do have any specific questions that you'd like me to direct, or please join the group, Kusala Consulting Group, that I put the link in yesterday, and we can dialogue there instead of on the page. But tomorrow we will connect the emotions, oxygen, and thoughts and beliefs. So it'll give you a broader perspective. Well, we have a lot to cover in these 21 days. All right. Be good to yourselves. Love you. See you tomorrow.